Denise Harper stood in front of her closet, staring at dresses she hadn't worn in years. Tomorrow was Marcus's wedding. Her ex-husband was marrying someone 15 years younger, and the whole firm would be there to watch. She was 57, divorced for 3 years, and she'd just received the invitation 6 weeks ago with a handwritten note from Marcus. "I hope you'll come, Denise. It would mean a lot." Mean a lot to whom, she wondered. To him? To his young bride who wanted to prove she'd won? To their former colleagues, who'd be watching to see how the discarded first wife handled it? She'd RSVP'd yes out of pride. Now she regretted it. Her phone rang. It was Linda from accounting. "Please tell me you're bringing someone tomorrow," Linda said without preamble. "I'm coming alone," Denise replied. "Absolutely not. You can't give them that satisfaction. Find someone, anyone, a friend, a neighbor. Hire someone if you have to." After hanging up, Denise sat on her bed, defeated. Linda was right. Walking in alone would be humiliating, but she had no one to ask. Then she remembered the business card in her wallet. 3 months ago, she'd handled the estate planning for a CEO who just sold his tech company. Vincent Lawrence, mid-60s, recently widowed, surprisingly down-to-earth for someone worth millions. They'd talked for hours about life after loss, about starting over, about the strange emptiness of success without someone to share it with. He'd given her his card. "If you ever need anything," he'd said. This was ridiculous. But desperation makes us brave. She dialed the number. Vincent Lawrence, came the warm voice. "Mr. Lawrence, this is Denise Harper. I handled your estate planning a few months ago. I'm calling to ask you the most unprofessional favor imaginable, and you should absolutely say no." She heard him chuckle. "Now I'm intrigued. My ex-husband is getting married tomorrow. Big society wedding. I RSVP'd yes before I realized what a mistake that was. I can't face walking in there alone with everyone watching, pitying me, or worse, enjoying my humiliation. Would you consider being my date? Just for the ceremony and reception. A few hours. I'll pay you for your time." There was a long pause. "Denise," Vincent said gently, "I don't want your money, but I'll absolutely be your date. What time should I pick you up?" The next afternoon, Vincent arrived in a classic silver Mercedes. He wore a perfectly tailored charcoal suit. His silver hair was neat, his manner calm and reassuring. "You look lovely," he said as she got in the car. "You don't have to lie," Denise replied, smoothing her navy dress nervously. "I wasn't lying. You look like a woman who's held her head high through difficult times." "That's beautiful." The church was packed. Denise saw former colleagues, friends from her marriage, people she hadn't spoken to since the divorce. All of them turned to look as she walked in with Vincent. His hand rested lightly on the small of her back, steady, supportive. They slid into a pew near the back. Denise could feel the whispers, the curious glances. "Breathe," Vincent whispered. "You're doing fine." The ceremony began. Marcus stood at the altar in his expensive tux, looking nervous. The bride, Amber, floated down the aisle in white silk and confidence. Denise waited for the stab of pain, the jealousy, the regret. It didn't come. Instead, she felt oddly detached. The minister began speaking about love, commitment, building a life together. Standard wedding fare. Then he said something that made Denise's breath catch. Marriage isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about choosing someone imperfect and committing to grow together. It's about staying when things get hard. She glanced at Vincent. He was watching the ceremony intently, his expression thoughtful. "I should have stayed," Denise whispered, surprising herself. "When things got hard with Marcus, I gave up too easily." Vincent turned to her. "Or maybe you stayed too long with someone who'd already left." The words hit her like cold water, true and clarifying. When Marcus had started working 70-hour weeks, she'd felt abandoned. When he'd stopped coming home for dinner, stopped asking about her day, stopped seeing her, she'd felt invisible. The divorce had been her idea, but only because she'd been alone in the marriage for years before that. "You're right," she whispered back. "He left long before I did." The ceremony continued. Marcus and Amber exchanged vows. They promised forever, just like Denise and Marcus had 28 years ago. She hoped they meant it. She hoped they'd do better. At the reception, Vincent proved to be the perfect companion. He made conversation with former colleagues, asked thoughtful questions, and never left Denise's side unless she wanted space. Marcus approached their table during cocktail hour. "Denise," he said, awkward but sincere. "Thank you for coming. It means a lot. Congratulations, Marcus," she replied, and meant it. "I hope you'll be very happy." He glanced at Vincent, then back at her. "You look well, really well." After he walked away, Vincent said quietly, "He expected you to fall apart." "I know," Denise replied. "Part of me wanted to prove I'd been hurt, to make him feel guilty. But sitting here watching him get married, I realize I don't want him to feel anything. I just want to move on." "That's growth," Vincent said. During dinner they talked, really talked. Vincent told her about his late wife, about the 40 years they'd had together, about how grief sneaks up on you in unexpected moments. "I came today thinking I'd be doing you a favor," he admitted. "But honestly, this has been good for me too. I haven't been to a social event since Margaret died. My children keep telling me I need to get out more." "How long has it been?" Denise asked gently. 18 months. Everyone says I should start dating. The thought terrifies me." "Because you'd be betraying her memory?" "Because I don't know how to be anyone other than Margaret's husband," Vincent said. "That was my identity for 40 years. Without her, I don't know who I am." Denise understood that. When her marriage ended, she'd lost her identity too. She'd been Marcus's wife, then she was divorced, and she'd struggled to figure out who Denise was on her own. "I think we're whoever we choose to be," she said. "It's terrifying, but also freeing." The reception wound down. The bride and groom departed in a shower of rose petals. Guests began to leave. In the parking lot, Vincent walked Denise to his car. "Thank you," she said. "You saved me today. I think maybe we saved each other," Vincent replied. He drove her home. At her door, he paused. "Denise, I know this started as a favor, but I genuinely enjoyed your company today. Would you like to have dinner sometime? A real dinner, not a pretend date." She looked at this kind man who'd shown up for a stranger, who'd listened without judgment, who understood loss and loneliness. "I'd like that very much," she said. 6 months later, Denise and Vincent were having coffee when her phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. "Amber and I are expecting. Thought you should know." She showed Vincent the message. "How do you feel?" he asked. Denise thought about it, really thought about it. "Happy for them," she said honestly, "and grateful I'm not there anymore. That chapter of my life is closed. I'm writing new ones now." Vincent smiled and reached across the table to take her hand. Sometimes the worst invitations lead to the best outcomes. Sometimes agreeing to something out of pride opens a door you didn't know you needed to walk through. Denise had gone to that wedding to prove something. Instead, she'd discovered something far more valuable. She discovered that moving forward didn't mean pretending the past didn't hurt. It meant accepting that it did, and choosing to build something new anyway. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below about a time when something difficult led you somewhere unexpectedly good. Sometimes our hardest moments prepare us for our best ones.